Thanks for tuning in. I'm Phil Waters, and here's a brief look at the top stories from this week from home and around the world. Troops stationed in Afghanistan will be receiving some much-needed holiday cheer in the form of Christmas care packages. The packages were filled with tasty treats and food inaccessible to troops overseas, as well as items like footballs to lift their spirits. This year, the gifts are going to two different units, a bomb disposal unit and the medical unit. Personalized handwritten cards were also included in the boxes to help give the soldiers some smiles and memories to hold them over while they complete their tour of arms. Everyone is encouraged to go online and see how they can brighten the lives of those that have to spend their holidays away from home fighting for us. Hail to the chief fills the air as former President George H.W. Bush's casket is carried during the funeral proceedings. As crowds gather around St. Martin's Episcopal Church in Houston for the funeral for the former president, many take the time to reminisce on the legacy that he left behind. The president was 94 at his passing and stayed active, throwing out first pitches and making appearances at rallies before his health made a turn for the worse in his final days. Former presidents and first ladies joined President Trump and Melania in the first row to pay their respects. George H.W. leaves behind 6 children and his wife Barbara, who will miss him dearly. In France, protests continued on Monday with students marching against tax hikes and lack of action on environmental deterioration. Students across the nation left a path of destruction in the wake of the riots, with cars tipped and buildings on fire as a result of the increasingly volatile protests. France's Professional Football League has postponed 2 matches scheduled for Saturday at the request of police following 3 weeks of violent protests across the country. News for the presidential palace suggests that there will not be a fuel tax rise in the upcoming year, as French lawmakers scramble to hold a debate on their approach to environment and the negative impacts of fuel hikes on citizen expenditures. The hike would come in the form of diesel and petrol, both crude oil sources with negative repercussions on the environment. Now to some sweeter news. Insomnia Cookies on Green Street celebrated National Cookie Day on Tuesday night by offering free cookies to students who redeemed the deal on the Hooked app for a limited time. Despite the chilly weather and up to 1-hour wait time, students lined up and waited for their loot. In fact, lines formed outside the door at the start of the deal late afternoon and continued throughout the night. The Cookie Monster is yet to issue a formal statement regarding the matter. That wraps up the news for this week. If you want to check out more stories and stay up to date on all of UI7's breaking news, give us a follow on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure to give us a follow. That's it for this edition of UI7 News Update. It has been a pleasure bringing you Phil's Tip of the Week for the past few months, and I'd like to end on a special holiday-themed tip. Like many, I have trouble thinking of the perfect gift around this time, so I follow a couple rules of thumb. Experiences become memories that last a heck of a lot longer than an Omaha Steaks gift card. Practical gifts might not seem the most worthwhile initially, but I promise your loved one will think of you every time they use them. If neither of those tips help, for around $40 you can order the gift that promises to light up anyone's eyes: a Toilet Mountain bidet. Thanks for tuning in to UI7, wishing you and yours a happy holiday.